Welcome to On the Couch, a weekly video series where we talk to mental health professionals about a range of issues that affect us as men and women here. My name is Tracy Rogers. Today I have with me Akilah Riley-Richardson. Hello, Akilah.
Hi.
Akilah is a clinical social worker, and today we're going to be talking about toxic relationships, managing them, understanding them, and healing from them. A lot to talk about.
Yeah, the reality is that many of us are in toxic relationships. And, you know, if we think about where it comes from sometimes wounds that we had as children, right? So we are neurobiologically wired, right, for connection. But sometimes when we don't have our needs met as children in different ways, we can end up either being love avoidant or love addicts, you know, and this really comes from the work of Pia Melody.
Yeah. So before you go forward, I want to just get clear on two things so that our audience are really clear about what we mean by toxic, what does toxicity look like, and the other thing, when we talk about neurobiologically wired for connection, to break that down. Yeah. So when we talk about toxic, I think we talk about relationships that oftentimes bring out the worst in us. They're relationships that just full of negativity.
And I think the relationships in which you're not acting out of an adult state, you're acting out of a childish state. So you're acting out of unmet needs as a child. The minute you go back there, you know, I'm not right, I'm not present, I'm not here, I'm not in the here and now, sorry, and this relationship has just become toxic, and this relationship is actually now becoming painful. It's hurting me and it's hurting the other person.
I think that was where I was going to go. Like, I think that's a key thing. This relationship hurts me, and I am even hearing myself being hurtful. I don't even know where it's coming from. Like, oh my gosh, that I just said that to this person that I care about and love. And when we talk about being neurobiologically wired, we're talking about the fact that this instrument, regardless of how you believe it's made and who made it, we know that this body is built for connection.
Yep, definitely.
We function together.
The brain is wired that way.
This is what our brain wants. So sometimes when we hear people say, oh, I could do it alone, I don't need anybody, we know, no. We are not made like that. So regardless of where you're at, this body is going to lead you to want to connect with somebody else. We can't get away from it.
Most definitely. And so, I mean, I just want to talk a little bit about what is a love avoidant person.
Yes.
A love avoidant person is a person who enters a relationship feeling that they are obligated to care for somebody else, and they don't focus on their own needs being met. They focus on caring for somebody else. They often need to be a hero in the relationship, a martyr in the relationship, you know. The love addict is on the other end. This is the person who really needs to be loved. It's love me all day, or please make me feel good enough. And the truth is that many of us have elements of all of those. Yeah, many of us have some degree of those two behaviors in our personalities. But of course, we have persons who are on extreme ends, and as such, the relationship can become particularly toxic.
And so whether you're a love avoidant or a love addict, we're saying that the beginning of this is rooted in childhood experiences.
Most definitely. I want to talk a little bit more about that. So often, a love avoidant person may have been in a family structure where they were not allowed, and the family generally does not express emotions and love, right, and expresses needs. So that person would become that kind of adult. Or that person may have actually been in severely enmeshed relationships with other family members, particularly their parents. What does that mean? They felt obligated to take care of and care for this parent.
And enmeshed relationships have no boundaries.
Right.
I don't know where I begin and you end. So there's no my feelings are your feelings are my feelings. So you're coming up in that kind of emotional space.
Yep, and as such, you often feel like you have to privilege that person's feelings over yours.
Yes.
Because that person, I mean, somebody once called it covert incest, you know, because the parents are actually saying, please me, please me, please me. Yeah?
Yes.
You know, it may not be sexual, but it could be in several other ways, emotionally, whatever. And so you dismiss what you feel, and in order to serve that particular person, and you become that type of adult who becomes a hero in your own relationship, feeling that you have to be a martyr for everybody.
So to anchor this in where we started talking about being neurobiologically wired for connection. We can't avoid the fact that we want to connect.
Right.
We learn how to love in our primary relationships. We learn how to love when we're growing up and we see other people loving or not loving.
But this is the thing, Tracy.
Yeah.
When you're love avoidant, the connection is anchored in pleasing another person.
Yes, because we've learned that
Right.
that is how you love.
And so interestingly, that person actually begins to fear abandonment, which we'll talk a little bit more on in the next video. That person begins to feel, if I can't please you, if I can't meet your needs, you are going to leave me.
Yes. And so therefore you start operating out of this place of fear.
Yep.
So we have so much more to unpack in this topic, and we're coming back with another segment to go into it again. But some of the messages we want to send out really clearly, that we can find ourselves on one of these two extremes, either being a love addict or love avoidant. This is rooted in how we learn to love in childhood. But we don't need to be stuck there.
No, we don't. Definitely not. And we could do the work in therapy to definitely unlock what's trapping us, and break free.
So we are talking about building meaningful relationships with people that we love, learning how to maneuver and walk in them without hurting ourselves or others. So join us again for our next part of this segment when we get into this more and talk about how we can move towards healing and growth. Thank you so much for joining us.